Ethnic background is Aboriginal. My father is Métis, my mother's Aboriginal. My native language is Ojibwe. I was raised as a Roman Catholic. A lot of Iraqi refugees resided in Winnipeg, and I befriended a lot of them to ask questions about their religious background, their culture, to learn, because I'm always interested in cultures other than mine. I felt this was my mission, to go out and learn, get the information for myself, and I'm happy I did. After the September 11th attack, a man told me to get out of his country, and I told him, I'm Aboriginal. What country am I gonna go to? Give me a ticket, I'll go anywhere you want.
Changing one's spiritual beliefs is not a new phenomenon. Micheline St. Jacques Yildiz did this over 20 years ago when she became a Muslim. Today, she still finds much comfort in her choice.
Tout d'abord, on s'est mariés à la mosquée, je me suis convertie, 1 heure après, on se mariait. Et puis, bon, pour moi, bon, c'était pas important la cérémonie, c'était pas important. Ce qui était important, c'était de légaliser, c'était aussi de faire en sorte de pouvoir vivre avec mon mari. J'ai découvert que l'islam répondait à tous les gros points d'interrogation que j'avais. Plus de question de 3 personnes en un Dieu, un seul Dieu, c'est suffisant. En tant que personne humaine, je trouvais qu'au niveau de l'islam, j'existais. J'étais une personne à part entière, pas un semblant de personne. Et je pense que c'est à ce moment-là que j'ai compris que l'islam, c'était fait pour moi. Ça s'est pas fait du jour au lendemain, ça s'est fait sur un cheminement qui s'est étalé pendant plusieurs années. C'est sûr que moi qui est né ici, qui a grandi ici, qui a l'accent québécois, qui parle, qui marche et qui mange à peu près la même nourriture que les Québécois qui sont ici, c'est beaucoup plus facile pour moi. Mais je sais qu'il y a des gens dans la communauté qui vivent des choses très difficiles parce qu'ils ont la peau plus foncée, parce qu'ils sont plus rigoureux dans leur islam, parce qu'ils ont l'esprit moins ouvert. Et ces gens-là vont vivre des choses beaucoup plus difficiles.
Over the past 30 years, Canada as a nation has put tremendous emphasis on ensuring the equality of its citizens and establishing a society free from racism. The search for justice is shared by Canada and Islam.
If you look in the Quran or in the prophetic tradition, you find that there's a tremendous emphasis being placed on being just, on being equitable, on being fair. Certainly Canadian Muslims are as concerned about security and peace in Canada as any other Canadians. And of course they're called to generate that and manufacture that because that is, if you like, the highest and the most sublime allegiance over and above ethnicity or race or color or really any sort of other allegiance.
There's such a strong emphasis on the equality of all people, not only on a spiritual level, so no one's soul is higher than another person's soul in the eyes of Allah. Now within the Muslim community, of course, we are not all the same. We come from hundreds of different countries, we speak hundreds of different languages. It forces us to really put our Islamic identity first and our cultural identity second to that. And we're encouraged to look at people equally, regardless of their gender, their race, their class, their ability.
People will sometimes say everyone is racist. Everyone has racist tendencies. Everyone has shown racism in some way or other by behaving, especially as if their race is better than everybody else's. But I think what is more dangerous is a systemic racism, which is racism that is ingrained within a system in a community. And so it is that broader political and economic view of racism that is so pervasive that it can be mistaken as a way of life, as a norm. It is an issue that is so ingrained in the system that it takes governments and generations of people working on racism to change it. But it is so systemic that it is much broader than what we would call individual racism.
Muslims continue to enrich this country by offering their skills, their talents, their professional knowledge and work ethic. Their unique cultural efforts provide a part of the rich variety that is Canada. In turn, many find opportunities here they wouldn't have in their homelands. After more than 100 years, Canadians are finding strength in their differences. As it says in the Quran, God created all of humankind from one soul, and from that created many different nations, so that we may get to know one another and not hate one another. Aren't we better in seeking to understand our differences?
When you look at the structure of the population, you find that Muslim population is very young population, and it means that Muslims are just beginning to raise families. So it's going to alter the dynamics of the demographics. When you have a large number of Muslims born in Canada, that makes Islam a Canadian religion. It's no more an Eastern religion.
Myself, I was born in Canada. I'm very proud of the fact that I am a Canadian, but also I'm very proud of the fact that my heritage extends through a couple of other cultures, the Arab culture, the Ukrainian culture.
And I think for the longest time, Muslims in Canada have been spectators, just taking what we needed from society and not thinking that we had to give back. But I think the realization now is that we have to give back. We have to share the values that we have, because this is our country, these are our people, this is my home. And if I have something worthwhile to share, I will and I must.
Why, we all want a simple song.